Okay, hello everyone. I know this is bad form, but how's my audio? Can you guys hear me okay? I've got a microphone plugged in right here, my AC running over here, and it's loud, and I'm not sure if the audio is being picked up. Hopefully it's not too bad. Welcome to the first ever Building Stuff with ADHD live here on YouTube. First YouTube live ever. So this is going to be sort of a trial run, if you will, to work out the kinks. Hopefully there are not too many kinks, but hey, this is Building Stuff with ADHD. If things don't go right, that's par for the course, right? So I'm Eric. I make ADHD content, and I don't spend enough time doing stuff like this, kind of off the cuff, and I wanted to get into it a little bit more. I thought, building stuff together would be a good opportunity to, get to know you guys a little bit. Hi, hello, Pepper. Hey, Stu Viking, President. Good to see you guys. So what we're going to be doing today is building stuff that I'm going to put into my home office / recording studio, because right now it looks a little lame and I need to decorate it a little bit more. And I went thrifting and I found this. Excuse the cough drops. I got a cough and I don't want to be coughing a whole lot on the live, so that's the compromise. I've got this clock. As you can see, it is broken, and that doesn't matter, because the idea for this one is to create a clock that signifies time blindness. So I got this clock, but I'm going to totally mess it up with spray paint. Got a few different colors, and then ultimately it'll be a piece that I can put in my office behind me, where I do my talking head type videos. And I also got these LA for life actuator, like that. Right? And I'm gonna paint these guys as well. What else do I have? I have some little sticky dots that will make their way into the design, and I'm not going to give away how that's going to be done yet, but you'll see. I think it's hopefully it's not insensitive, but I'm going to get your guys' feedback on that, and also just use this as an opportunity to answer any questions that you guys have. Like I said, I don't do a lot of these lives, and I want to chat with you guys. So if you have any questions, let me know. Oh, and also, sorry for the attire. As you can see, I'm already sweating through this shirt. If I was wearing a sleeved shirt, I'd probably pass out from heat exhaustion, because I live in Las Vegas, and Las Vegas is a little very hot, and my garage doesn't have AC, so sweet. ADHD. Not every ADHD is controlled by ADHD. Almost everyone I know has ADHD. So the thing about ADHD is, and why a lot of people relate to some of the symptoms or many of the symptoms is, it's literally all the symptoms are all behaviors that everybody has and everybody does. The difference with ADHD is the prevalence of it. So if you have trouble getting organized, sometimes, that may not be indicative of ADHD, but if you can't get organized at all, ever, that might start leaning towards ADHD a little bit more. So it's something that a lot of the content that I do, inevitably people are like, oh, everybody does this. And it's like, yeah, everybody does this sometimes, but if you're doing it all the time, along with the other symptoms that I talk about, then that might be indicative of a greater problem. So can you explain the process of officially testing ADHD? So actually not really, because so to get officially tested for ADHD, you have to go to a medical professional who specializes in that. That's really the only way to get an ADHD diagnosis. You can go online, you can find ADHD screeners, and you can do an assessment, which will tell you if You might have ADHD, and it's worth talking to a professional. That's a good first step. Or just talking to your doctor about it. They may know something about ADHD and can progress that process of you potentially getting a diagnosis or refer you. But the only real way to find out if you have ADHD is to talk to a professional. And there's a series of tests that they run, and it all has to be administered professionally. Right? Okay. I'm going to keep answering questions, but I'm going to also get moving here. So I'm going to take this sticker off. I also don't have any mods because this was, in typical ADHD fashion, this was sort of thrown together pretty quickly and not planned out thoroughly. So I'm going to do my best to try to keep up with questions and all that. But in future lives, I promise it will be a little bit more organized. I've done online tests on multiple websites, and it says I have ADHD. So yeah, you may have ADHD, right? So if that's the case, and what I always tell people who suspect that they have ADHD, or they do an assessment and it says if you feel like your life is being negatively impacted by your symptoms, then it's worth talking to your doctor about and getting a diagnosis. And then once that happens, it opens up treatment options, right? And that could be medication, it could be therapy, it could be all kinds of things. But if you have taken assessments, you found that it's possible that you have ADHD, and you feel like your life is being negatively impacted by your symptoms, because, by the way, lots of people could potentially have ADHD, and I say potentially because, again, the diagnosis is what makes that official. But they live life in a way, their occupation is such that it doesn't really get in their way all that much. And if that's the case, fine, right? You don't need the diagnosis. But if you feel like it is getting in your way, then I think it's worth going through the process of getting a diagnosis. Okay, all right. So what am I doing? So I've got these three colors. Here's one thing I want to get your guys' thoughts on it. I was thinking of just spray painting the entire clock this dark gray color, and then I'm going to put these dots on the clock. And actually, I'll tell you guys now. So the idea, leaning into the time blindness thing, is to make the numbers Braille going around. Time blindness, right? But I wasn't 100% certain that isn't insensitive. And I want to ask you, if anyone here is like, oh yeah, that's insensitive, don't do that, I'm not going to do that. But I don't think it is, right? But anyway, so I'll leave that question out there. Gray on the background. Then I was thinking the dots will be yellow, the Braille dots yellow, and then pink for the hands. That's kind of what I was thinking. What do you guys think? Or is that not the best way to do it? I think it is. Also, I should prime this. In fact, I have primer, but I'm also extremely impatient. So I'm not going to prime it, and hopefully that's not an issue and it looks okay. You can't see the old clock, but we're going to see what happens. Bubble wrap that I'm going to put down on my workbench so I don't get spray paint over everything. Okay, awesome. So it sounds like no one thinks it's insensitive. That's good. I care about that. I don't want to offend anybody. Here's my time blindness. As I ran out of time halfway through thinking I had loads of time left. Yeah. I was thinking about that the other day. I was thinking about what is my first memory of time blindness. And I was, I don't know, maybe 10 years old. and I was waiting for a bus for school, and I didn't have a phone or anything, and I was waiting there. I was waiting, and then finally, I was like, you know what? It seems like it's been a long time. Maybe I missed the bus. And then I waited a little longer, and then finally I'm like, all right, the bus definitely isn't coming. So I walked to a friend's house who lived nearby, whose mom was like always at home. And I knocked on the door, and she's like, what the hell are you doing here? And I told her I think I missed the bus, and she's like, yeah. I called my mom from her house, and mom's like, what do you mean you think you missed? Well, like, why didn't you call me earlier? Like, what are you talking about? She's like, the bus, like, it's nearly 2 hours since the bus should have been there. Why didn't you call me? And I was like, I had no idea. I had no idea it's been that long. And of course, she didn't believe me, and I got in trouble. But yeah, that was back before I knew I was diagnosed 7 years old with ADHD, but I didn't know. At that age, you don't know the symptoms or anything. I didn't know time blindness was a thing. I was just thinking about that recently. All right, I'm gonna spray my dots first. It's easy to get tested, and really, I hope I have it. It sounds weird that I feel that way, but I feel like I have a reason for the way I think and feel. Yeah, so I mean, that's kind of the thing. When you get diagnosed with ADHD, if it's something that you've been struggling with, I think I can't really speak from personal experience on this because I was diagnosed really young. But from what I hear from people who are diagnosed later in life, it's affirming, right? Like you've struggled with something for your whole life, for such a long time, and you didn't really have answers as to why you were struggling with things that your peers weren't, right? And then getting that diagnosis sort of answers a lot of those questions. That's what I hear from a lot of people, and it makes total sense. All right, yellow dots. Oh man. So I was at Hobby Lobby for like longer than I should have been, trying to figure out what to use for the dots. And I found these, but it's like, I don't know if you can see, the paint is not sticking at all. So that's a problem. Well, whatever. We'll figure something else out. There are going to be a lot of mistakes made, and reevaluating our plan as this live goes on, I suspect. All right, now I got to get this thing off. I'm just going to paint the clock. And so I just. Woo! Okay. All right, that works. I think I just lost a piece. Oh! No, that's not, whatever. We'll figure it out. All right, I'm going to paint these guys. These guys are going to be pink. You got this. Yeah, thank you for the encouragement. All right. The first for the timeline, I didn't realize an ADHD thing, so I'm like, oh boy, the latest excuse to be lazy, and I'm like, oh boy, I'm an idiot. Yeah, I mean, the lazy word, right? It's kind of a trigger for a lot of people because, for people who don't really understand ADHD, it's easy to look at somebody who is having problems with something that they view personally as a character defect, right? Like being disorganized or whatever it is, late to things all the time. But the problem with it is it's a neurological condition that's causing those things. So And when you don't understand it, sure, it's it's easy to make assumptions like that about it. All right, pink on the hands. Have any of you guys seen that that artist on? I saw him on TikTok. He's probably on other channels too. Who makes like these pieces with spray paint. He makes like galaxies and these really cool scenes. He uses all these different techniques with spray paint. And when I was getting the spray paint in the store, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try all that, but I'm gonna try to like refrain from going nuts with it, because inevitably, if I start trying to get cute, it's gonna just look terrible. So I'm gonna try to keep it simple, but we'll see where this goes. All right. Also, I'm indoors and spray painting, so I should put one of these on soon. I probably will. Design diagnosed ADHD. We found a piece of cardboard and turned it into a gun that had a knife that slid in and out of it. Yeah, I used to try to make weapons with pencils and anything I could get my hand on all the time. Little like like crossbows with rubber bands and pencils, cardboard. Firsthand how hard it is for people with ADHD to start pushing projects. Part of this is like I'm getting on a live, I'm doing something. This is sort of like a lot of people ask me if I make videos to like do chores, like my world was made for ADHD videos, and the answer is yes, absolutely. Like folding clothes, cleaning something. Sometimes my wife gets excited if I'm like filming in the kitchen, because she's like, oh good, it means you're gonna like finally clean in here. Let's do this. I'm gonna mask up on my head. Forget it until I need it. Yeah. Currently procrastinating 4 projects at the moment, and those are from this month. Yep. That's how it goes. It's just upside down. The thing about beards is, man, during the height of COVID, masking up was so annoying. Because the effectiveness of a mask when you have a beard like this is a fraction of what it would probably be without the beard. And on top of that, when I would wear it around for a while, I'd like push my beard in, and it would just look like just super weird. All right, let's go. There's a big scratch in the clock I didn't see before. Whatever. Oh, how long you been bald for? let's see, when I accepted it and started shaving my head was, I think, I want to say probably 2012, 2013 maybe. But my hairline was receding. I used to have long hair, believe it or not, like, not quite to the shoulders, but pretty long. And I loved my hair. And as my hairline started to recede, it looked worse and worse because I had like the patch here. So it was like long hair kind of coming down. And no matter how I tried to like comb it over, it just didn't look right. So finally bit the bullet, I think 2012, 2013. So 11 or so years. And then even, I shaved it and then I'd let it grow out a little bit. And now it's kind of nice because I shave my head in the shower every other day. It's pretty quick. And I don't have to worry about going out and getting a haircut, so it's like one less maintenance thing that I have to worry about. I mean, shaving head in the shower is a maintenance thing. Actually, filming makes that easier because if I don't shave my head that often, I start getting the hair growing out on the sides and it just looks bad. And because I'm in front of the camera, I care about that a little bit more. So, yeah, being a content creator makes that a little bit easier. ADHD doesn't come with dyslexia. It does not come with dyslexia, but they are comorbid. I actually don't know what the stats are on that, but a lot of people with ADHD have dyslexia. They thought I had dyslexia when I was younger because I had a really hard time with reading and writing, and I got my like D's and B's mixed up till I was older than I should have been before kind of figuring that out. But I'm now no longer like I don't think I'm dyslexic. I have a good friend who's dyslexic, and he's like, he needs to do speech to text for everything, and I see the difference in him and me. And but yeah, dyslexia, dyscalculia. I believe I'm saying that right. And there's another one that are all common ADHD comorbidities. And comorbid just means they occur together fairly often, like ADHD and autism, right? Those are comorbid. How are only 26 people on this awesome stream? Hey, it's the first one. It's the first one. I did the first YouTube live stream. I'm actually fairly new on being consistent with YouTube, at least. I started posting a lot of my videos out, and actually over the past, I think 2 weeks or so, my channel grew from I think it was like 8K to now it's at almost 80K. So it's been awesome because YouTube to me is like, I love YouTube. This is my favorite platform as a content creator. It was just a kind of a hard one to break into because long format content it's harder. Big try is better to have just 1, 2, or more going at once. I've got 2 projects in mind that I'm not sure if I should do one at a time or both at once. And that's kind of a hard one to answer. I'm trying to get these staples out for a minute. I don't know why I'm using my fingers. I will say that, one thing that people with ADHD struggle with is switching from one task to another. Term for it isn't coming to mind. But from that perspective, it might make more sense to just focus on one project till you get it done, to offload some of the mental work that's required to switch from one thing to another. At the same time, when the novelty of a project wears off, it gets more difficult to, keep doing it. So if you have 2 projects going on at once, in theory, that means it's going to take longer, and then there's less likelihood that you'll do it. If you have, if you set it up so that there's a contingency, I can't do this next project till I do this project, that could help to motivate you to do the project. I don't even need to do this. I'm going to leave the staples in. All right. What color should I do my A's? I mean, my letters. Gray, yellow, pink. What I was thinking originally is gray letters and then having like paint dripping down, maybe like pink dripping down on one, yellow dripping down on the other. How I'm going to make the paint drip, I have no idea. But we'll try that. I agree with all your ADHD facts. Exactly the way of thinking. Yeah, it's like there are a set number of symptoms that qualify as ADHD symptoms, but not everybody experiences all the symptoms, right? Like I think according to the DSM, which is the diagnostic manual for that, is referenced when diagnosing ADHD. I think you need like 5 of 9 symptoms to be determined as having ADHD. So all that means is you can, even if you don't have every symptom of ADHD, it doesn't mean you don't have ADHD. That's another thing, as a content creator, talk about ADHD, as you can imagine, like a lot of people will be like, I have ADHD and I don't do this, like, oh, so this must not be true, but it's not the case. Maybe mix some paint with some water. That's a good idea. Or glue, put a lot of paint on top, then blow it down with a hairdryer or something. Yeah. How do you find the energy for extra projects like this once in a while? Grow something right here. Yeah, it's, like I mentioned before, doing this live kind of gives me a reason to do this. And this is fun and exciting for me. And really anything that involves creativity is it's easier for me to find the motivation to do because it's interesting to me. Gradient of pink. Okay, how do I do a gradient of? You think I should just like maybe on the bottom like start with the gray and then just go lighter going up and then do the same thing? Like that's how you would do a gradient with spray paint, right? I guess obviously, right? Yeah, I'll give that a shot. All right. Here's our gray clock. Actually, it's pretty good. Without, one coat and no primer, you can't really see through it at all. That's awesome. Letters pink. Like the Shasha. Shasha Blow, that's the space painting guy. Letters stars. Dude, I think about that question often, what my favorite food is. I don't know. I fluctuate a lot. I think for me, I love sushi. I love sushi so much. I also love, I'm gluten. I don't have celiac, but I have a gluten allergy. Which actually I found out around the same time I started going bald. But it eliminates a lot of foods that were once my favorite food. It sucks. All right, so I'm gonna try the gradient thing. Color on top, gray on bottom, or gray on top, color on bottom. Gray on bottom, right? Gray on bottom, yeah. Yes. And then I'll do the L. I'm gonna do the gray first. Yes. Oh, mask up. Do a base layer. Oh, base layer of gray. Over the whole thing? Yeah, right? Because I guess I could do a couple coats of the color on top of it. Yeah. It's 2 a.m. here. I'm watching a guy building a shelf. It's not that useful of a object I'm building. I'm just painting letters and painting clocks. This is nice being able to like do this and ask questions. Oh, see what's happened with the mask? My beard is already getting all. It's nice being able to do this and ask questions because most of the projects I just like do stuff, I try stuff and mess up and then have to redo. Just spray painting all over my hand. All right. Get lightheaded. All right. I love the smell of WD-42. Does it need to be cleaned? That? Probably. You mean like before I painted it? Yeah, that would have been smart. But I did not do it. Smallest paint red. That's true. Here's where we're at. The shirt, I'm sure it's going to be cut. Anytime I paint anything, shirt, pants, they will get paint on them. Eat this cough drop without getting paint in my mouth. So I'm doing two things. I'm making a clock, or I'm not making, the clock was made, I found it at a thrift store, but I'm making pieces to put on my wall in my recording studio to just spruce it up a little bit. And for the clock, I'm gonna make it a time blindness clock. So it's gonna be, instead of numbers, it's gonna be Braille. And that's the idea. And this one is just a life actuator, my handle or username or whatever. missed a spot. I'll just paint take to dry. So I think what I'm going to be doing is dries in 20 minutes. And I feel like it's been almost 20 minutes on the clock. So since my dots didn't work, actually they kind of like, I don't know if you can see that. They're like, whoops, it's dried on. So maybe I just do a few coats and eventually it'll, yes, I think so. I'm going to try that. I'm going to keep painting it until it works. All right. Here are my pink handles, or pink, what do you call them? Arms? What are these called? And I'll spray these dots again. All right. The mask up. Yes. Skipping the planning and just end up winging it. Big time. I've done a lot of videos on that. I think I need a plan B. All right. Stencil. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do the letters now. All right, so gray on the bottom. It's going to be, I think I'll make the L yellow. I need my mask. Safety second, doing stuff first. Yeah, that's my. Doesn't help that my dad is wasn't because he's retired now, but construction, and he cut the tips of his fingers off on his table saw because he took the safety guards off of everything. And he's just like the most. I don't know, reckless isn't the right word, but he was not one for safety. So I inherited that from him, and then on top of it, I just don't. I jump into things without planning them a lot, so it's not a good combo. How's that look? You know, I do really hate painting because I hate that you really should do multiple coats and the waiting in between. It's just like probably when it comes to like, building stuff, it's, I think, my least favorite aspect of it. So I'm holding back the urge to just keep painting this, but I'm gonna do that as coat one, let it dry for a little bit, and figure out what the heck to do with the dots. I had to suture my right pointer finger because I forgot safety. Then decided to sharpen a cleaver. Was forging on an upside down angle grinder. Held it with my big toe. I was 15 when I did that. Yep. What dots? So the idea with the clock is it's going to be, so this was a clock. And now I just painted it black. I'm going to put, instead of numbers, they're going to be, it's going to be Braille. And the idea is that will signify time blindness. And then it's going to hang up in my studio. And these are the hands. They're going to be pink. I want the dots to be yellow. I got these little sticky dots, and that's like perfect because it'll be easy. I can just paint them and stick them on. But as you can see, paint is not adhering to them. So that idea didn't work. So now I just got to figure out how to do it. I think a stencil might work, but it might be sloppy. Man, as this goes on, I'm just going to sweat more and more through my shirt. I live in Las Vegas. My house is nice and cool, but the AC does not come into the garage, unfortunately. What can I do? Blobs of paint. It'll take longer to dry, but it's an idea. I like that idea. All right, let's see what So I've got. You know what? I do have this yellow paint. That'll work. Yeah, perfect. Acrylic paint. What's this acrylic? Yeah, it's latex paint. What's the wuthering? What is that? Like dots should be red. You like red? Red on black? I just thought that yellow would pop a little bit more on the dark gray. Especially because like the dots are going to be kind of small and it's going to be hanging up in the background. I think red might be a little difficult to see. meant Wolverine. People tell me a lot I look like Kratos. Obviously, I'm not built like Kratos, but this paint is pretty old. All right, dots, paint dots, paint blobs, and I also need to figure out Braille, what the Braille numbers are. Braille numbers. Okay. Okay. So 1, 2. Okay. All right. That's simple enough. Dots out of here. All right, and then I should kind of map out where the numbers are going to go. Yeah. Like a pizza. Dip the dots. Dipping dots. Light blue/green. Oh, okay. Well, I also have this actually. No, empty. Well, one thing I'm really guilty of is if I'm doing a project and I need something that I don't have, requires going to the store for it, I'll do everything in my power to avoid, come up with alternative solutions to make it happen. This is one of those cases. I'm just gonna go with the yellow because it's what I got. And I think it'll look nice. So this yellow color, and this pink hand on the dark cloth, I think it'll look nice. All right, how should I do the dots? The paintbrush, yeah. I don't have a paintbrush, so I'm gonna use. You know what I'm gonna use? I'm gonna use a screw. I'll dip it in the paint and then make little dots. Yeah, hopefully that works. All right. First things first. I gotta map out where it's gonna go. How do I do that? How should I do that? Oh, you know what? I want to use for my dots. All right. All right, those are the easy ones. All right, good night. Almost 1 a.m. Woo! It is. Yeah, what time is it where everybody is? What time is it here? It is 4:50 where I am. Oh. All right. Question 45. 65, 25? Is that right? This is not going to be precise at all. It's like watching my guy in the shop. Yeah. I feel like that looks pretty close. All right. Do these dots look even or not? You know, like does that look? That looks pretty close, right? They're not far away enough. I gotta make that uniform, but I feel like the distance in between is pretty close, right? I think so. Good enough. All right. This one doesn't look right. All right. Oh, it's pretty close. Close enough. This one looks This one is wonky. Good enough. Favorite hobby? For me, it used to be playing guitar, but I don't play guitar all that much anymore. It's probably my biggest regret is not sticking with it. How have you eaten today? It's a good question for everyone. I had Chipotle for lunch, and I had Cheerios and a protein shake for breakfast. Had Skittles. How old am I? How old am I? 30, 34. 34. I think we're ready for dots. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm gonna measure out. Inches from the bottom. That doesn't look right at all. Something got messed up there. I think. Oh, I know what to do. Run this across. Good. There we go. All right, yeah. Good enough. Thank you, Vibin. Not me having to think about my age. I say the wrong age often. Fortunately, I was born in 1990, so it makes it easy to just like. I think I don't. When someone asks me my age, I don't think about my age. I think about the year I was born, what year it is currently, and what month it is. That's how I get there. All right. So. I want to start doing dots, but that'd be boring from that angle. You know what? Why not just move the... So I thought I could stream this from my phone, but for whatever reason, when I set it up on YouTube, I scheduled it on the computer, and then I wasn't able to... That'll work, I guess. All right, I guess it doesn't matter where we start. All right, so now I need Braille, my Braille codex. Okay, so I'm assuming, so that's 1, that's 2. So like for 12, it's just a 1 and a 2 with a little bit of space next to them, in between them. I've never made Braille before. Okay. Got my paint. Got my put a piece of bubble wrap down to avoid spillage as much as possible. All right. 1. Oh, wait, you guys can't see that, huh? And 1, 2. I already kind of messed it up. I guess this is why you never see anyone painting with nails or screws. Move the camera around so you guys can see. I mean, I guess it's not terrible. All right. So that's 12. Now, I'm going to do 1. Right, 2. Three. That's 4. This is why I was really hoping those sticky dots would work. Would have been a lot more forgiving. I feel like they're too far apart. Yeah. think I made them too far apart because my 12 looks exactly like my 4. Whatever. So going back now. 5. Six. They're not. It's not very square. Oh, whatever. Dots so good. Ah. Come on, 6? No, 7. So it's 4 dots. Okay. 9. All right. Now we got 10, which is a 1 and a 11, which is just 1 and 1. Okay, that's gonna have to do. Remove my dots. All right. Okay, so here's where we're at. I'm gonna hold it up and hopefully it doesn't drip. But there's our Braille clock. I mean, it's a little rough, but that's okay. Looks like there's a lot more space over on this side. Seems to be good enough. All right, so here are our hands. All right. I don't know if I love it. Just gonna have to do. All right, now I'm gonna put another coat on my letters, and then I think we're gonna wrap things up. So that looks, sorry, the gradient looks. It's funny, it's a lot easier to see the gradient on the camera than it is in person. It's close enough. Right now, we're making, these are just pieces that I'm going to put in my studio, my recording studio / office, just to make it look a little more interesting. When I do videos where I'm just talking to the camera, my background is pretty boring. I just have some soundproof panels behind me, and I just wanted something that makes it look a little cooler. So I've got this clock, which is my time blindness clock. It has Braille instead of numbers. And then the LA for life actuator. I took the gradient a little too far on this one. You know what? I'll go back over it with gray. Put my thumb in it. That was good. Yeah, looks pretty good. All right, and I forgot to put my mask on, so that was a lot of paint fumes. Whew, okay. All right, well, I think that's, I gotta wait for my dots to dry. I'll post a picture of everything when it's done on my on the community section of my YouTube, so you guys can check it out. But yeah, before I take off, anyone have any questions about anything? I'd love to share some knowledge if I can. I'm a ginger too. You know what's funny? Before I lost my hair, it was a lot darker than my beard for some reason. And people would ask me, multiple people asked me if I dyed my beard. It's like a weird thing to assume. Can you please make another verbal self-defense video? I found your last one really interesting. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'd be happy to do that. Striving towards starting a men's ADHD mental health support group. That's awesome. And like would it be like a in-person sort of thing that you're thinking about? Oh, the sign numbers. Yeah. So that was a lot of people ask me if I know ASL, and I don't. I wish I did. I want to start learning it, but a lot of when I was doing like when my videos were getting higher up in parts, I was struggling to come up with. I do like 18, or it'd be like 18, right? And people were like, "You should do ASL." And I started doing it, and people really appreciated it, which is super cool. So yeah, I want to learn more. Do I really have ADHD? Yeah, I have ADHD. I was diagnosed when I was like 7 years old. Been for probably the past 3 or 4 years. I started. I actually left my old job and started doing stuff to help people with ADHD. And then about probably a little over 2 years ago, I started up with my social media stuff, doing awareness videos, and that's been really cool. I mean, it changed my life. I never expected the content to take off like it did, but it's been pretty cool. Can you make more of those things people with ADHD really often hate? Yeah, 100%. I've got a lot of them. I don't know where you guys see my. Do most of you guys see my content on YouTube? My primary channel is TikTok, which I don't love because TikTok is not a awesome place for content creators. But I've got a lot of videos that are on TikTok that haven't yet been ported over to YouTube or any other channels for that matter. Yeah. So yeah, I can imagine. I hate hearing about people who have lived with ADHD for their whole lives, and didn't get diagnosed later on because, we all find coping strategies, but having first off understanding why you behave the way you do, you behave in ways that are different from your peers is that's a big deal. And then also getting strategies to support those ADHD behaviors and symptoms is it's a big deal. I ain't got TikTok. Yeah, you're not missing anything. Any of us here in the States might not have TikTok soon. I'm not sure if that message is directed to me. What's your Instagram? If it is, it's just Life Actuator. It's the same handle as YouTube and TikTok. When I first watched your videos, I cried. Wow. Wow, that's amazing to hear, because it was so nice. Yeah, that means a lot. That's why I do it. The feedback I get is it means a lot to me. Might not have TikTok soon. So the U.S. government just passed legislation that effectively bans TikTok if they don't divest within 9 months. This was a month ago, so I guess I got 8 months left. So they have to sell, which ByteDance has already said they don't want to do. That said, it's going to be an uphill battle in court. So legislation is passed, but it's going to go to the courts to see if See if it'll actually get banned. I mean, a lot of other countries, I think French just banned it recently, and a lot of other countries have banned it. All right, sounds good. I'll see you on Instagram. Is this your first stream? Yeah, first stream on YouTube. I want to start doing it more. I'm thinking about making it a weekly thing on YouTube. I've done lives on like TikTok before, but I didn't love it. Now that I'm more active on YouTube, I definitely want to take advantage of the lives and start creating some more long format content as well. All right, see ya, Alex. Is your video supposed to be funny and true at the same time? Yeah. So the way I try to go about my videos is it's a difficult subject matter. Obviously, it's a very sensitive subject matter. Those of us who have lived with ADHD our entire lives, a lot of our experience is laced with pain and frustration and all kinds of negative things. So what I try to do with my videos is they're mainly for awareness. So I talk about different symptoms and but I try to do it in a way that's funny and lighthearted, just to ease the weight of something that a lot of people find really difficult. Parents told me that my ADHD will go away when I'm older due to gray matter. Is that true? In some cases it is. That's sort of an older kind of something that used to be thought was how ADHD worked. Like young boys in particular would get ADHD and then they grow out of it. But what newer medicine and science looks like is it's not always the case. For me, it didn't. I still struggle with ADHD symptoms as an adult. There are a lot of facets to that question. One is like, kids with ADHD, their prefrontal cortex develops slower than their peers. So that's why kids of the same age, a child with ADHD might seem a little bit more immature because the executive functions are all housed within the prefrontal cortex, which is like the higher level, like planning, impulse aversion, all that stuff. They have a more difficult time because that part of the brain hadn't developed yet. So, but then when you hit 25, by that age, that part of the brain has fully developed in somebody with ADHD. But a lot of the symptoms still, happen. So it's ADHD for a lot of people is with them their entire life, but how it manifests looks different from when you're younger than when you're older. Executive function, related problems usually get better, but still, like when you're an adult with ADHD, that part of your brain is still a little bit inhibited. Thanks for being an awesome, positive beacon for the community. Oh yeah, it's my pleasure, and yeah, that means a lot to hear you say that. All right, guys. Well, I think this is a good time to wrap it up. Thank you for all being a part of this first live. It was fun for me to chat with you guys and have somebody involved in my project. So I think I'm going to do this more. For future lives, I want to do other. They're not all going to be building stuff with ADHD, but honestly, this is a good way for me to kind of like do projects and motivate myself to do projects. So yeah, this is great. All right, guys. Well, if you don't already, this is my YouTube. I'd love it if you subscribe. I'm also on TikTok and Instagram, but TikTok is where I have the most content, but I'm trying to move all that content over to YouTube. Also, there's a Discord community. Started up a Discord community. If you guys want to chat and hang out there. I have that. If you go to my like community page on YouTube, there's a link to it. Love if you joined it, and hope to see you there. How long have you been doing? I've been doing content for a little over 2 years now, I think, around there. I understand my mom's you. Well, I'm really happy to hear that. All right, guys, I'm gonna get stuck here and never leave. So I need to just hop off. So, all right, good seeing you all. Hope to see you again soon. Bye, everyone.